Hi, everyone. My name is Liz Palomino with Google, Head of Industry for Travel here in the US. Welcome to my home. Thank you for welcoming me into yours or wherever you may be today. Look forward to walking you through how Google is thinking about encouraging marketers to enter this next era of travel. I think it goes without saying that COVID-19 upended our world. But zooming out, it's mostly accelerated trends already in evidence before the crisis. We've experienced 10 years of change in about 6 months. As physical travel shut down across regions, consumers did not stop being travelers. They remained interested, but had to improvise. I can say this because it's evident in the searches we see on Google. Consumers are eager to travel. For example, searches for "is it safe to fly" have grown globally by over 500% year on year. "Can I travel" has grown globally by 800%. Rather than popular city destinations, we saw an increase in local, smaller destinations. Things like "state parks near me," globally 800% year on year. "Camping near me," 60%. And those good old staycations have grown globally by over 100% year on year. With the shift in travel behavior, we're seeing more consumer journeys that are more complex than ever before. Bookings have stalled and cancellations are more frequent, requiring brands to rethink their digital strategy, oftentimes doing more with less. We saw that 90% of travel companies surveyed by Skift slashed their marketing budgets this year. If you're anything like me, you are likely left with a feeling of uncertainty about what the future might bring. At Google, we pride ourselves on our ability to build and execute a plan, but my focus now has become how to be ready for what might be coming my way next. And that's really difficult to gauge. Companies have been compelled to reconsider everything from product strategy to channel strategy. We've been left with questions like, what types of services should I be prioritizing in this moment? And how can I convince customers to book this moment? They've compelled marketers to reconsider how they understand deep consumer motivations and how to find and satisfy dynamic consumer demand. These challenges are existential, and they've left us with an even bigger question to solve. How do you know when to take action? Unfortunately, I'm not here today to give you a specific date, time, or formula. Instead, I'm here to ask all of you to rethink what it means to be ready for what's next. Because while there might be even more change and uncertainty headed our way, there's an opportunity to turn data into action as we rethink what it means to be ready. We have an unprecedented opportunity to be ready for whatever comes next. I'm talking over the next 12 to 18 months by being ready to take action on what matters right now. We know the future will be paved with uncertainty, but this is not about trying to predict the future or about being paralyzed the next time we're faced with such unprecedented scenarios. This is about preparedness and action. I assume some of you have been asked, or perhaps you've asked yourself, how can I best prepare for the return of travel demand? Or how could I have predicted that sudden rise in demand for staycations or road trips that we saw spread across the US in July? Well, what if you didn't try to predict any of this at all? And instead you were ready to spot the trend in real time and take action. Now, I think it's fair to say that most of the industry probably didn't see any of these challenges or opportunities coming. And that's because opportunities like these are just too unexpected, they're too unpredictable. They can also be fleeting. And if you're not set up to take advantage of them, you'll miss them entirely. So that you don't miss them, marketers can leverage highly dynamic signals from their own first-party data and data available through Google's platforms and products to gain significant business advantage. In practice, aggregated and anonymized signals like consumer sentiment, consumer spending, consumer mobility can help us take action across our organization. It's my belief that these types of consumer signals were under-leveraged before COVID-19, but they can no longer be in this dynamic world we live in today. They are vital to both your recovery and your resilience. They are the window to what matters to your guests, even as they change hour by hour or day by day. Every travel brand has the opportunity to lean into digital transformation. Look, traveler expectations have shifted, and now more than ever, travelers expect more from brands. Missing expectations for simple online experience will cause 48% of US travelers to abandon. So it's critical to pay attention to these new signals and integrate them where possible. So what do I mean by digital transformation? It's not about building a better site. It's about using data and technology to upscale your product and channel capabilities. Most critically, it's about capturing demand in a dynamic way. Doing so requires smarter automation that can make actionable sense of data and signals in real time and at scale. Think about it. When consumers are engaging more on digital, and they are now more than ever before, that gives you better access to signals and insights so that you can form deeper consumer understanding. We actually tested this in a new piece of research called Rethinking Readiness. With travel shoppers, we found using real-time signals drove up to 22% higher purchase intent and 22% higher click-through when compared to ads with only basic personalization. This is above and beyond ads that already had some level of basic personalization, like using your previous purchase or loyalty status. These ads were also 13% more important to brand love and demonstrated 22% higher brand trust. The ads worked not because they were targeted, but because they were meaningful. Let's talk through an example of what this could look like. So meet Craig. He's a father of 2 elementary school kids. They all need a vacation desperately. So he searches for best road trips and luxury vacation rentals near me. He receives a spectrum of vacation rental properties with a certain mile radius from his home. So while that sounds super helpful, it's not actually as helpful as it can be. Because Craig was also searching for things like home office equipment, and he was also watching yoga videos on YouTube. So what if the ads he saw took those signals into account? What if the ads included copy about strong Wi-Fi so he could still do his work? Or did more than just state kid-friendly, but showed images of kids out of the house, away from their parents, running around in nature? What if they mentioned the kind of peace and tranquility Craig seeks from yoga? What if they did all of this? That would be how a brand can make Craig feel really understood. And these are exactly the kinds of experiences we tested. See, when people like Craig feel understood, yes, they're more likely to click through and purchase. But they also showed something we wanted to really test the boundaries of. On average, fewer than 6% in any travel test expressed negative sentiment with the level of personal details used. In fact, when they were understood in this way, it sparked a 31% increase in excitement and a 50% increase in pleasant surprise instead, while reducing indifference by 68%. What I love about this is that it validates the fact that as we as marketers are able to meet consumer needs like we have never been able to before, thanks to smart technology applications by marketers. So I see it as there's really 3 ways to get ready. First, be ready by being data and insights led. Given how messy the traveler journey has become, you can't rely on the last web or app activity to determine what someone really needs or wants. You need to work from a wealth of inputs and adopt smart automation tools that make sense of it all in real time. The second thing, be ready by being adept and agile. Travelers are shifting their expectations and moving quickly as restrictions loosen and regions begin to open, which means you need to break down old silos. Brand versus direct response, TV versus digital. Take a zero-based holistic approach to marketing. And lastly, be ready by investing in privacy-forward technology. Critically, you can't do any of this unless you invest in or partner with a platform that's invested in privacy-forward technology. With regulators, consumers, and other technology companies demanding change, it's the key to business success. We at Google have made major investments to help you along that path, like many of our first-party data solutions. We're seeing some businesses step up and accelerate their digital transformation journey. They're not waiting. We've seen many adapting their product and channel strategies. So quickly, I wanted to show you a few standouts. Alaska Airlines, one of my favorites. With demand and bookings at historic lows due to COVID-19, Alaska stayed live on Google Search and fully embraced automation, leveraging a target cost per acquisition bid strategy to capture the limited yet qualified demand that resulted in 500,000 plus conversions since March. Avis Budget Group, a car rental company. After the halting of nearly all business travel, Avis leveraged first and third-party insights and data to better understand their most profitable customers that were now leaning into leisure trips. This drove media efficiencies and a 5% lift in average order value. In each of these cases, these businesses have embraced the current landscape and demonstrated their willingness to push forwards and future-proof to the best of their abilities, finding ways to capture existing demand and plan for the road back. The key takeaway I hope you have is that this is your moment. It's imperative that you seize it, and we're here to help. Marketing is a driver of growth and resilience. In these ever-changing times, we can help you turn consumer signals into action so you're ready for what comes next. I hope you found that helpful, maybe inspiring, but most of all, thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to the day when I can do this live and see you all in person and go back to experiencing the properties that many of you today are here representing. Thank you. Enjoy this day.